Forgive me. I'm about to get real raw. Mommy. Yes, Jeremy. Can I go to a party with Japheth? I don't have time to take you anywhere. I have to finish my homework. We can take the trolley. My son, Jeremy, is only 16 years old. So the thought of allowing my child out of my sight and anywhere near people in uniform with guns makes me more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I'm his mother. I'm supposed to protect him. But I can't be in all places at once. When 22-year-old Oscar Grant was shot in an Oakland trolley station in 2009, the black community was stunned. It was clear it was open season on young black men again. Jeremy was only 10 years old then, and I wished like hell that he could stay that way. I remember one time, my neighbor, an older white woman, grabbed her purse and cowered in the corner when my son got on the elevator. She's known my son for years, but now she's afraid of him when I'm not standing next to him. Black boys are cute. Young black men are regarded as threats. I hugged Jeremy and my baby boy BJ close more often than I usually did because even though they were just babies, I knew one day they would be old enough to leave home without me. I knew one day they would demand to be free of their mother's reach. For obvious reasons, I wasn't ready for that. When Oscar Grant was killed, I felt the way I suspect black mothers felt when they heard that 14-year-old Emmett Till's mother had been presented with a mutilated corpse in place of her only child for 3 days. I felt the way the mothers at that time felt when they heard that Mamie Till had decided to leave her baby's casket open in order to force the world to see what those monsters did to her son. Back at our house that night, my son pleads his case, but I simply told him, "You can't go." "Mommy, why not?" "Because it's not safe." What am I supposed to say? That I'm terrified to let you out of my sight? I'm worried that someone will see my tall football player looking baby and think him a threat, so you have to stay here with your mother? What else am I to say? I'm worried that you'll go missing like Emmett Till. He won't understand that. He is too far removed from that experience. We don't remember Emmett Till like we did Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. He would, even at this young age, think I'm being ridiculous. So I said nothing except, "You can't go." Black people are forced to see themselves as a single unit. When a white man is killed, it's an unfortunate loss for his family. But when a black man is killed, the black community feels like we've lost part of ourselves, even if we had never met the person, because historically, black people don't get to see themselves as autonomous. I don't get to see myself as autonomous. I don't get to see my son as a single unit. We've always been treated as a collective. They wouldn't even give our ancestors their own name when they inventoried them like cattle, hundreds of men and women named Willie. White men never had to walk in groups and keep their head down because they were scared of drawing too much attention to themselves. White mothers didn't have to hide their white sons because the KKK was hunting their children like baby deer. So I said nothing except, "You can't go." By the time Jeremy was 13 years old, Trayvon Martin had been shot by a rent-a-cop, despite a 911 operator telling him to stand down. "Mommy, where's my sweatshirt? I need it for PE. It's in the laundry." A week later. "Mommy, did you wash my PE clothes?" "Yes." "But my sweatshirt isn't here. I'll buy you a new t-shirt." "What's wrong with my sweatshirt?" I wasn't about to tell him that I'd gotten rid of it because assholes on social media were making jokes about jumping black boys wearing hoodies to teach them a lesson, especially since Jeremy walked home from school alone. I wasn't about to tell him that the sight of that sweatshirt left a hot metallic taste in my mouth and caused my heart to race and my ears to ring. A voice in my head screamed, "If you love your babies, you won't let them wear this damn hoodie ever again." I had to protect him. I have to protect him. City College was all abuzz when Trayvon Martin was shot. That poor child. Even though I had participated in protests before and had only recently begun to speak out against injustices, I wasn't marching for this one. I couldn't. I had made up my mind that I would march my ass home and lock my babies in there with me. Let everybody else march down to the courthouse and run the risk of being identified as troublemakers who needed to be reminded to stay in their place. My place was at home with Jeremy and BJ, my then 13 and 10-year-old boys, my babies. But as I was walking to my car, I overheard a woman telling a group of young people that we needed to rally against injustice or they'll keep shooting us. Shooting us? Is she kidding me? I'm not going to give them a reason to shoot me or my babies because I was going to be inside with the doors locked. I drove to Roosevelt Middle School to pick Jeremy up after I picked BJ up because I knew the protest was happening that day. I wanted to get home as soon as possible to avoid getting stuck just blocks from our apartment. As I slowed for the red light at the corner of Park Boulevard and B Street, BJ asked, "Mommy, what they doing at your school? We gonna go there?" "No, baby, we're going home." "But we always go to your school when there's a lot of people." "No, baby, we're going home." Then Jeremy looked over at me with eyes as big and innocent as Puss in Boots from Shrek 2 and asked, "Mommy, what are those signs for? Are we going to miss the parade?" "No, sweetie, it's a protest." "What's a protest?" BJ yelled from his booster seat. "It's where people get together and tell the world they're not happy. What they mad for?" "They're mad because a security guard shot a young black kid." "Why for?" "Because he was afraid of him." "Huh?" Even BJ knew that wasn't a good enough reason to shoot somebody. But then Jeremy chimed in. "He shot him because he was a black boy wearing a hoodie, and that's why mommy is throwing away all of our sweatshirts because they got hoods on them." Please understand, I don't like to lie to my children, but assuming that I was protecting them by not talking about a tragedy that shook the black community and much of America was just plain ignorant of me. It was then that I realized I had made a mistake. I can't protect my babies by disassociating my family from the rest of the black community. I needed to show them what was going on. I needed to talk to them and teach them how to hold their head up, even though the oppressor was trying to scare us back into the post-civil rights era. I drove around the block and parked my minivan in the college parking lot and explained to my boys the real reason the people were protesting. Then I told them that we will march with them in solidarity because I didn't want what happened to that poor kid to happen to them. I couldn't help feeling a hodgepodge of emotions as I marched through downtown San Diego holding both of my boys by their hands and yelling, "No justice, no peace." My heart swelled with pride. I heard their little voices loud and clear above the hundreds of people around us as we marched past police officers blocking certain streets and making sure we were the peaceful ones. The speaker reminded us that we are strong, resilient people. But when I gazed down at my boys, the most prominent thing I felt was immense pride. Back at home, the night 16-year-old Jeremy wants to go to the party. "Mommy, can I go?" Thankfully, I remember the pride I felt at the protest as he repeats his question. "Can I go to the party with Jafet?" Although fear still had a chokehold on my heart, I decided to let him go and follow with all the same motherly advice any other mother, including the white ones, give their children, their adventurous teens. But I had to give an additional reminder. Where you going? Is your phone charged? You got enough money? Yes, Mommy, yes. All right. Have a good time. And Jeremy? Yeah, Mom? Don't forget you're black. Never. He kisses both my cheeks and my forehead, and he bounds out the door.
That was VAMP first timer, Keidra Taylor.